In yet another example of failing upwards in Hollywood, it appears that the Thunderbolts director has been confirmed to be doing the MCU's X-Men reboot. Now, this is the information that's coming out. We still have to get actual 100% confirmation from him. But according to this article here from Newsweek, Thunderbolts filmmaker confirmed as X-Men director. Variety has seemingly confirmed that Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier, if I'm pronouncing his name correct, will be helming Marvel's next stab at an X-Men film. In a story about Marvel's 2028 release dates, it was speculated that the X-Men reboot could be one of the features selected for the year. It was mentioned that Jake, I was going to say Jake now, had been chosen as the director for the film, though this is the first time that's been confirmed. Right? There were reports before that they were looking at him to do it and one than the other. But after what happened with Thunderbolts and how it completely and utterly flopped at the box office, this is kind of shocking. We also got information that, apparently the MCU is going back to their stuff again after Bob Iger said they were going to be cutting back on content. Apparently they're going to be going back to their 4 movies a year release, because for some reason they want to burn through that money and figure that's going to work. But back to the director of Thunderbolts. Now, as I stated, Thunderbolts is a massive flop at the box office. It is going to end its theatrical run not even making 400 million. That is seriously problematic. So the director being chosen is shocking. And apparently nobody is having a bigger meltdown online over this news than Beau DeMayo. Yes, that's right, Beau DeMayo, the the former X-Men 97 showrunner who was released or let go, just days before X-Men 97 premiered. Yeah, well, apparently he is having quite the meltdown over this. Check out this article over here at that Park Place. X-Men 97 showrunner Beau DeMayo erupts after Marvel taps Thunderbolts director for X-Men reboot film, accuses studio of hypocrisy. Sure, why not? Just hours after Marvel Studios officially announced Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier to helm the highly anticipated X-Men MCU reboot film. So apparently, yeah, they have announced he's going to be doing it. But again, like I said, these things change all the time, so it's to see. But for right now, that's what they've done. Fired X-Men 97 showrunner Beau DeMayo took to social media with an explosive series of accusations against the studio and, by extension, Disney itself. DeMayo, who was abruptly let go from X-Men 97 shortly before the show's release, pulled no punches in a tirade, posting to X claiming Marvel promotes mediocre creators and punishes those who speak up against internal misconduct. So Beau DeMayo's whole thing is that ever since he and Marvel had their falling out, after they were lauding him up like the great gay hope that they were going to do after that, all kind of allegations come out. Them accuse him of, certain inappropriate behavior. He accused them of this and this one, and so it going back and forth and all of this drama up and down. Let's look into what he had to say. What he had to say here. Oh, look, only at Marvel Studios with its plantation country club vibes can you direct a decent film that doesn't break even at the box office and land this gig. Or to fit a certain demographic in Hollywood and just fail upwards. Zero interest in seeing what him and the rest of them going on there. So yeah, this is what he's coming out today. And ever since this whole thing about Beau DeMayo has been out there shouting that Disney and all of them are racial and they don't like women, and they do this, and all of that. All of that he been going on about and one than the other, because apparently Beau DeMayo insists on still being relevant, and that's what he's going to do, because he claims to have all this evidence against Disney and all this, all of this other thing. Apparently involves some legal battle, but we never get anything coming out of it. So I'm saying, until if you have all this evidence against them and you whatever, bring it out, get it done, let's see what's going on. But he continues on, right? So he after he made that, he went on to deride the hiring decisions as effing pathetic and claimed the new X-Men film will be Iger's version of the franchise, devoid of any authentic exploration of the core themes. What exactly is that? Because what you have to say here, well, they got straight white men steering it so they can avoid what happened on Blade, when a lead on the project threw a script by a black female writer across the room and shouted, "This is why I don't like working with women." What did Marvel Studios do? Fired her to a piece. So apparently, what he's saying here, I'm not looking at this just now. He won't say here that, it's just pathetic and this film is going to be Iger's version of the franchise, devoid of any authentic exploration of the core themes. So it's rumored that Bob Iger and Kevin Feige are at war in Marvel right now, because Kevin Feige wants to turn the X-Men into some kind of, SJW exploration of all kind of nonsense that keeps failing, and Bob Iger just wants a straight up badass action flick. So he's claiming that, okay, they hire this guy here so that he could be Iger without any franchise, devoid of any authentic exploration of the core themes. What exactly is the core themes of X-Men? They're mutants that battle evil mutants and other threats to save the world. That's it. That is the core of it. You understand? I mean, they're mutants and they're hated because they're mutants. That's the way Stan Lee revised the whole thing. But they use their abilities to save people. That's it. Then he goes on here to talk about how, well, they got straight white men steering it so they can avoid what happened on Blade, when a lead on the project threw a script by a black female writer across the room and shouted, "This is why I don't like working with women." So if this is what happened, and I don't know, he claimed that that's what happened. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. My thing is, what exactly was in this script to have him behave like that? Now, I'm not saying what he did whether this person did what was good or not. I'm not saying no. But the information that we got coming out of the whole Blade movie was not good. Because at one point, what they want to do more than anything when it comes to Blade is have his daughter take over and have Blade go to the old vampire retirement home. That's what they want. And then at one point, the movie morphed into some kind of thing where Blade ended up playing like fourth lead to a bunch of women who lectured him. If that is the script that this black female writer, apparently, if that is the script that this black female writer turned in, I could understand being damn upset about it. I could understand that. But I don't know, because the fact that it is, you have to come out here and talk about straight white men, and then not talk about, when I had a script by a black female writer. Is it always that you need to come out throwing race into everything? It doesn't make any kind of sense to me at all, but apparently he's having a meltdown over that. But the real fire came when DeMayo accused Marvel Studios of firing a black female writer from Blade after an incident in which a male lead allegedly threw her script and yelled, "This is why I don't like working with women." According to DeMayo, the studio not only fired the writer, but retaliated against him for reporting the incident, eventually booting him from Blade and making his time on X-Men 97 miserable. Again, I don't know what was in the script. I don't. If you're trying to tell me that all this, that this, okay, let's say that this woman, this female writer, turned in this fantastic script, and this person was just like, I don't like this crap because you're a woman, and they fired that person. I find that very suspect. I find that very suspect. There had to be something in that script that clearly angered this person if this incident did happen. I don't know. We only have your word to say, but okay, if it did happen, there has to be something in there that angered this person. And you're not going to fire somebody unless they did something or wrote something or turned in some kind of script that was terrible. And then he says that, because he reported this incident, they eventually booted him from Blade. The fact that Blade is an absolute massive disaster for the MCU because they can't get it right. And the reason they can't get it right is because they want Blade's daughter to take over. That's the main reason. That's the main reason they keep screwing that up so badly. But again, this is the kind of crap that they keep doing. So I don't know. And he goes to that, because of that, they boot him from there and then they make his time on X-Men 97 miserable. This was the same person who they were raising up as the great gay hope for X-Men 97. As the same, he's going to be bringing his experiences as a black queer man to the thing, and now you're saying something different. Yeah. What did Marvel Studios leadership do when I reported it to Marvel? He asked, booted me off Blade and then made my life hell on X-Men 97 because I had dared to speak up to their vaunted parliament. Yeah. DeMayo claims to have receipts and witnesses and says Marvel has gone to great lengths to keep the incident quiet, even accusing mainstream outlets like Variety, Vanity Fair, and Empire of helping cover it up. Okay, again, if you have these receipts and witnesses, then do something, but okay. This is their true face and they're not even hiding it anymore, he concluded. At the heart of DeMayo's rant is an accusation that cuts to the core of Disney and Marvel's public image, one of a company that champions diversity, inclusion, and the moral high ground. The implication here is that behind the curtain, the very institutions that promote virtue-driven storytelling and identity politics may not be practicing what they preach. Oh, what a shocker. Disney lies. Disney lies. You want to talk about Disney not practicing what they preach? Look at Gina Carano. Look at Gina Carano. There are people who work at Disney do things and go out there and say all kind of stupid, ridiculous shit. All kind of it. And they say nothing about it. Gina Carano posted something that was literally historically accurate and then refused to put pronouns in her bios because they're freaking stupid, and they canned her and then tried to again blacklist her. So I don't know why you're shocked that Disney is some sort of evil company that would do that, because that's what they do. But that's apparently what he thought was happening. I don't get it. The accusations remain unverified, exactly, and no official statement has been released by Marvel Studios or Disney regarding DeMayo's claims. Notably, Nate Moore, the lone black executive DeMayo mentioned, has reportedly parted ways with Marvel, but under what circumstances remain unclear. I'm not mistaken, Nate Moore is the same guy who was telling say that they don't want directors and stuff to read any of the Marvel comics. They just want them to come in and do their own thing. This is it. So again, these are the kind of people that they were hiring, and this is where the problem continues. As of now, Jake Schreier is officially attached to direct the X-Men reboot, with production expected to begin in 2026. Whether DeMayo's claims gain traction in the industry or are quietly ignored remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: Marvel's carefully curated public image is once again under scrutiny, this time from within its own creative ranks. Again, Beau DeMayo comes out because he wants to remain relevant and wants to say these things. He claims to have receipts and witnesses, but never actually shows anything to see what's going on. All these claims about how this black female writer on Blade got a scribble. Again, I don't know what was in this scribble. If it was really freaking terrible, I could understand somebody being upset. I'm not saying that is the way you handle it. No, that's wrong. But I could understand people being upset. I can understand people being upset. But again, like I said, the person who's freaking out the most that the Thunderbolts director is going to be the one who's going to be directing the X-Men reboot is apparently Beau DeMayo, because he's having more of a meltdown than anybody else. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring your notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.